we're just going to hop right into the news. Aleksib. They're on OG. It's been a while. They're linked in my mind. But Aleksib has had a nice long break after the roster change on G2, and he's found a new home in NiP. Not an expected move, not what I expected to see. Definitely, like, NiP are a team that have the means to bring him on, but NiP for a long period of time now, and they really seem to lean into it, was a Swedish team. They wanted to speak Swedish on the roster. They wanted to focus on having a Swedish roster. It was one of the elements that attracted Brolan to the roster when he made the roster shift over from Fnatic to NiP, was that he didn't want to speak English. He wanted to speak Swedish again. He comes over to NiP. That's the thing. They're speaking Swedish. It's a Swedish team. And that's all changed now. So Aleksib has now been added to the roster. Plopsky has been benched. Hampus is going to go back to being a rifler. He's not going to be IGL. And Rez will be the opper for the team now as well. We just got that news from DJL, who is one of the coaches, the coach behind the team right now. And so that's been elaborated on. And so Rez, it looks like he will be the one taking over the op role as well. So that's a lot to handle already. But I don't know. When I heard this news, it really was that double take of, like, really not expecting this move. Didn't feel like that was what NiP needed. Always felt like it was NiP needed the op more than anything. And so the more pressing question was always just like, are you going to just bring Device back on now? And Plopsky takes a seat and you bring Device back on, Esatag, Rez, and Brolan as riflers, Hampus as caller. That feels like you can cook some, you can do some work with that roster. So the fact that they're not replacing the op, in fact, they're moving the op role over to a different player who is doing fine with the rifle, and also shifting up the leadership, and bringing in a very structured IGL at that, who believes in a very tight, structured kind of play. It feels like this is the kind of move where it's a little bit of a shock to hear that they're going for this move when you have a major that's just a couple of months away, and that doesn't leave you a whole lot of time to prepare for it. So let me get your thoughts on this, man. What did you think when you heard this news?
Right, first of all, it's another one I do on Sake and Banter, but I'll give it a different take, right? Basically, I'll do some other parts of it. So one thing is, I was absolutely shocked by this. I never heard anything behind the scenes like this. As you said, it was always implied like Swedish players. In fact, if you remember, when Device joined, a massive selling point was he can speak Swedish. He's been in Sweden for ages. It wasn't that we're going international, we're doing Danish now. That's why Esatag joined. It was a surprise. That was like, okay, that's weird. Is it half Danish now? What's going on? So the implication was you had to speak Swedish. So spoiler, even those Finns learn some Swedish in school, like most of them aren't super fluent, and their accent would be impossibly fucked up anyway. So you would, if people don't know how they speak like really strange. So anyway, that means to me, this is like, if you sign Aleksib, let's be real, you are saying we are now permanently an international team. NiP is an international team from now on. Yep. It's not a Swedish team, which is good in this sense. It actually infers something fans won't think about. If Rez doesn't work out, mate, if you can pick anyone who speaks English, you can get tons of AWPers. The problem was there was no Swedish AWPers. That was what was fucking you. Now, here's the thing. Obviously, Esatag wasn't good on the AWP, but I always thought he was supposed to be a fucking support player anyway. So to me, if you look at, like, Rez, true, Rez was really good with a rifle at one point, but actually I saw him play, even though they were doing badly in the games, I saw him play with the AWP. He wasn't bad, actually, because he has good first bullet aim, so his flicks are decent. Like, he had some skills, clearly. So that's not a bad sort of band-aid until we maybe get some AWP who speaks English. And I'd also throw in there, I actually think a reason why they might go international now, why that's the future, actually makes sense if you think about it. Because remember, it's only a couple of years ago that Jonas Gunderson, formerly known as Kalk, when he used to be a 1.6 player, he's from Denmark. He was from North, if people don't know. He's not Swedish, but he's the guy who's overseeing their project and, in theory, decides the players that come into their team. So I think having a Dane there has made them think, look, we tried the Swedish experiment as long as we could. There's no Swedes left, / we can't get them, and we've sold Brolan. Like, let's just go to an approach now. We bought Brolan. He's the only one that was good. Let's just go to an approach that's international, because the problem they had in that team was the coaching staff did a lot with very little, just basically a rifle core, no IGL, no AWPer. I'm amazed at the results they did get, but it could never last forever. So the good news about this is I actually think the Aleksib move could be great, because I think they tried everything with that old rifle core. I think they tried every style of CS. They tried tacticals, that tried being loose, tried just letting people frag out, tried swapping roles for Plopsky and Rez and all. They tried everything, tried putting Esatag on different spots. So instead, here's a good idea. Bring in a guy like Aleksib who has a system. He knows how he wants to play Counter-Strike. He knows how he wants to call Counter-Strike. He knows what he wants you to do in the game. Give him some good pieces, like Esatag as a support element. I'll make a prediction. Esatag looks better under Aleksib. There's one for you. Then you get people like Rez, Well, guess what? You know, everyone's like, Aleksib micromanages too much. If I've got an inexperienced AWP, I might want to micromanage him a bit. That might help him. I might be able to get him into better spots to frag out with that AWP. Because half of the AWP, it's a different type of game sense if people don't know. It's not the same as just peeking a corner with a rifle or going in with a pack. You know, it is a different philosophy. Then you look at people like Brolan. Brolan's pretty young still. I've always thought the thing with Brolan is this. His best player was under Golden, right? And in the Fnatic squad of all those veterans. So I always wonder with a super young guy with skills, not all of them are like Nico and Simple, they're just like self-driven and have their own perspective and want to be the best and have a massive ego. Some people have star player skills and maybe actually they're still young. So they're like, I'm not quite sure who I am as a player, or should I be the star? Should I ask for the attention? The good thing about an IGL like an MSL or an Aleksib is this. They'll come in and quickly identify, oh, Brolan, yeah, you're my star rifle, actually. I'm going to use you in this way, at this spot. You're just going to frag out. I'm going to put you in these scenarios. You just hit him in the head. Don't worry about, you don't have to, but should I be? No. It's not democracy. I'm the leader of this team. We do this. Yeah. So I actually think this could be a great move, especially because, as I say, it doesn't even have to be this roster that works. If you're now speaking English, you can then get a better AWPer. You could upgrade the team too. And so we know those rifles are good. You got some pieces to work with. And like I said, I'd never expected this move in a million years. I think it's cool, but I never expected it.
Neither did I. I thought that they were actually, I mean, that really does almost put an end to the Swedish scene, in a sense.
I mean, Fnatic even went international, yeah, so they have.
That's the thing, yeah. Fnatic were the mainstay. NiP were the mainstay for years. These were the two
French teams.
These were the two Swedish rosters. French teams are pretty much on a downward swing now as well. I mean, at least they have heat in France. So I mean, you still have, but I mean, it's still like a team that's like in the mix.
It's so inappropriate to make a joke about the situation with the gas supply. You know, come on. Just because Macron was really tight with him, like, fuck. Oh, sorry. My apologies. You meant heat, H-E-T.
Yeah. Not
my bad.
It's not
the question is, will they have heat in Germany later this year? What, is there having like another Cologne? Yeah, something like that. You know what, ESL? You can suck my Meister shaft. That shouldn't even get you banned. That's a totally legitimate. It just means like Master Championship or something, doesn't it? Master Competition.
Well, I mean, that's it. Exactly. That's the end of an era then. It's like yet another, it is the move over towards international. It feels like international is now going to start being the mainstay, the main trend, instead of it being the odd thing, the way FaZe is an odd thing. Now FaZe really, getting all of the success.
You know, the other thing I could never handle about Plopsky, because he's the guy who got caught. It was an all right player. Like, I didn't have anything against him. He seemed like when he was in good roles, he was pretty decent, but he wasn't like star player. I could never get past the name, because it reminds me of one of the things that, even though it's childish, when I first came to Sweden, Semmler, you know why I'm going with this. I go into a 7-Eleven, you know me, candy fiend. I'm in those things. What we got here, I'm getting the fucking Bilar, the cars, they're straight fire. I'm looking through. Obviously, I go to the chocolate section. What's the chocolate I'm going to see immediately, Semmler? Plop. Mate. Why does it have to be someone in a Swedish accent? Would you like to taste my plop? He's very sweet. Like, oh my God. What are you talking about? What is this madness? Why is it called plop? In every language, that surely is the sound of shit dropping out your ass. And it's chocolate. Make it like fucking licorice or something. Why is it chocolate? Chocolate. That sounds like the dream.
That's the least of their worries when it comes to
That sounds like the dream of
names.
that fat German kid in the original Willy Wonka movie from the 70s, who's like addicted to chocolate. He's like, oh, the plop. Oh, and he drinks that chocolate river and falls in. It's metal in it. I know. Whatever. What's mad about that? No one ever thinks about this, Semmler. You know, that's like a light-hearted movie, that Willy Wonka. Dude, it was like the movie Saw, but it was just way ahead of its generation. He just invites all these fucked up people and like, would you like to play? I mean, look around my castle. I mean, my factory. And then he's like, oh, look, there's chocolate here. And then they're like, oh my God, my greed, I've fallen in. Oh, it's like, the next winner of the game will be like, what the fuck? This guy at Willy Wonka is just Jigsaw. This is fucking insane. And at the end, I mean, spoiler, that movie is actually trash. Here's why. Because, you know, at the end, like, Willy just gets to win and get the factory. But he did just steal those drinks. You're a little thief. You should get arrested. He should have been taken out of there in cuffs. Slammed in the back. Don't even put his head down under the, when they thing like, oh, what's your head? And they're like, they should just get the fuck in there. And then he should just be in prison under the hot lights. Why are you stealing fizzy lifting drinks, motherfucker? You don't want to pay for that shit? And also, I'll just point this one last thing out. There's a whole rant about Willy Wonka, that original movie from 60 with Gene Wilder. There's one last thing I want to say, and this is fire, because someone did a meme like this, and this just ruins the whole movie. You know that whole premise that at the beginning, all the grandparents are all too decrepit and they can't work and they're all in bed all day. And and they're all starving. Like Willie's mom's making like fucking, not what Willie, I can't remember the name of the kid. Charlie, there you go. Charlie's mom's making all that fucking cabbage soup, isn't she? Literally, like, you know, the worst thing ever, cabbage soup. And then the joke is, it goes like, you know, when you don't feel like working for 30 years, it just shows you lying in bed. And then it goes, when your grandson wins a golden ticket to the Willy Wonka factory, he's like, doo-doo! He jumps up and starts dancing around, doo-doo, doo-doo! Like, what? Who the fuck is it? So he's doll scum as well. He's just sponging off the fucking system. Then him and his little Asbo-ridden kid go in there, start nicking fucking fizzy lifting drinks. And then after that, they're like, oi, you cunt, Willy, give me your whole factory. Like, oh, I can't fucking handle it, mate. Where's my life supply of chocolate? Gives a pound for your mum. Like, fuck it. It's like someone from Borough or something. Fucking hell, I can't take it, mate. Anyway, it is a banging movie, though. Watch it. It's good.
It's a banging movie. Go check it out.
That's the end of the Willy Wonka related segment.
Want to see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.